All right, we're doing something a little different. Since Harbor Freight's really turned a corner and when it comes to the quality of their stuff, instead of talking about the tools I think are the best things that you should buy at the upcoming parking lot sale, we're going to talk about the tools you should avoid. The stuff you don't want to buy at Harbor Freight during this parking lot sale. So let's jump into it, take a look at the flyer, and see what are the no-go zone, if you will, for this week's sale. So first off, we're on the front page, and almost all the stuff that's on the front page is going to be good. It's going to be from decent, the batteries and stuff, to just ridiculously good. Drop everything and go and get it. We've talked about this before. Everyone knows about the 40% off icon sockets. And then, of course, if you partner it with the 10% off on the credit card, that's just ridiculous savings. And we go through the rest of it. And some of them, those are good. They don't get me excited, but that doesn't make them a bad deal and you shouldn't get them, all right? Of course, a lot of these are some of my favorites here. We got the 3-ton rapid pump jack, the Yukon cabinet, the Predator generators, the titanium welder. I think is one of the best bang for the buck beginner. Just general, you just need to stick some metal together. You don't want to deal with a big welder and getting out the gas and everything else. Just grab yourself one of these flux core, the titanium. It's a super easy, convenient little welder. We use them all the time. Central Machinery shop fans. I don't use one of these style of fans, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. The moving blankets, of course, the ammo cans. Yeah. The only thing on the front page that I'm like, I'm not too sure about it is the safety glasses here. That's these right here. We'll draw a circle. That's a small circle, and it's in red. You can't see that. Let's pick a different color. There we go. We're talking about these right there. These are a pass for me. And I know a lot of people have given me grief when I say I don't like the safety glasses. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan of them. When it comes to, my eyes, when it comes to sunglasses, anything, it's one of the few things I get a little snobby about is I want to be able to I don't want anything to impair my vision. And I feel that those safety glasses, they're so cheap, they're easily scratched. They're just not my favorite. I get it. Cheap safety glasses, you do you in that case. But for me, it's going to be a pass. All right, let's go to page 2 here. Let me zoom it up. I'll bring it back up here. All right. So we're up here at the top. The zip ties, okay. The 4-gallon backpack sprayer here. This one, I'm not a fan of this sprayer, and let me tell you why. It's a cheap, kind of one of those throwbacks to the old school Harbor Freight days when basically some people would be like, they'd buy a product and be like, this thing was great. I don't know what everyone else is talking about. And like the 1 out of 3, 1 out of 5 people are like, this thing is trash. How are you all liking it? And it was quality control was the issue. And this sprayer, I think, suffers from those same kind of old school issues. If you come down and you look at the reviews on it, you definitely see the old fish hook there. Comes down, yeah. And then the 1 star comes back up, and that's when it's going to bite you on the backside. And it's a case of, hey, it leaks a bunch. It's hard to use. It doesn't work. Just a lot of, and you get basically you're rolling the dice, and how many trips back do you want to go before you get a good one? That's one of the ones I'm going to say that we're going to pass on, all right? Now let's go back here. The SAE hex wrenches, they're all right. They're nothing to write home about. The 5-drawer mechanics cart. Honestly, I'm going to say this is a pass as well. Not because it's not good. Now, a lot of people know I'm not a huge fan of the 5-drawer. I like the 4-drawer. But for me, it's just the work methodology, all right? If I'm going to go with the 5-drawer, I want the full stack cart. I either want the U.S. General Series 2, the 32-inch, the full drawer workbench, or was it rolling cabinet, or I want the full bank one. And yeah, you're spending a lot more money on that one. But I don't like those little 2 side drawers. It just, some people like it. Some people hate it. I'm not a fan. Doesn't make it wrong. But what does not make it a good deal is the fact that it goes on sale pretty much every 3 months. It goes on sale for $199. All right. That's the sale that pops up. I just looked. It was three months ago. Or it was in June. It was on sale in June. 3 months before that. 3 months before that. 3 months before that. Every quarter this thing goes on sale for just sub $200. I would wait. I mean, it's... Granted, I'll say this, it's $20. It's a $20 difference. Do you want to wait for $20? I don't know. But if it's not something you need right now, and it's something that would be kind of like, hey, I kind of want that, and it's on sale, maybe I should pick it up. Because I think the next one, because it was in June, so we're July, we're halfway through August. We're not halfway, but we're well into August. I think that we're going to see a back to school sale in September where we're going to see it at sub $200 again. So I would hold off on that one. The full bank at 500 all day long and twice on Sundays. All right, the 3-ton heavy duty ratcheting jack stands. I'm a 6-ton jack guy. I have bigger trucks, I get it, but what I like about the 6-ton, even if you don't need the 6-ton, is it lifts it up higher. It's more, it's overkill, and trust me, overkill is underrated when it comes to jack stands. Maybe that's just me. I like it higher so there's more room under the vehicle, and then it gives me more flexibility to work with different kind of vehicles as well. Now, granted, if you have a shorter vehicle and you've got a shorter jack, that 6-ton stand might not work out for you. So just do the math for you and whether it lifts high enough and all that jazz. But again, I recommend the 6-ton over the 3-ton. Let's go through the rest of these. Yada, yada. Those are fine. I'm not a fan of the Pittsburgh Mechanics, the 300 one-piece Mechanics tool set. Honestly, I'm not a fan of either of those. Lots of people have, when I've said this before, been like, oh, I've got it. It works great for me. And if it works great for you, that's fine. But I mean, when I'm looking at, I can get this for $100 or I can get 40% off a Quinn Master set. I'm going for the 40% off the Quinn Master set. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the other tools you can't get in there. You don't get that needle nose and those side cutters and that. Yeah, these, I don't care about these. I hate those tools. I'm going to buy better quality tools. Get the Doyles when they're on sale. When they do that, 30% everything off under 20, that's when you buy those Doyle tools to replace that. The ratchets are okay. But the Quinn ratchets are better. And they come with the Quinn sets. Anyway, let's keep going here. The light's all right. I like the light. I like that stuff. The shop towels. Now, this one is, you can argue with me in the comments on this one if you want. I hate the red shop towels. Now, granted, it's $50. It's 50 shop towels for $7.50. Now, what I bought recently, I'm going to show you right here, was I bought for twice that price. I bought 50 shop towels for $16. And you know what? I've got a stack of them right here. I like these. I like these better. I think they feel better. I don't think they lose as much dust or little red things that fall off. I did this before and like one blue thing flew off. They don't do that, all right? I like these towels better, and I'm willing to pay $15 for towels that don't leave little red lint all over the place. Again, maybe it's just me. Maybe, I'm going to put a link to these, though, down below because I think they work great. As you see, I purchased them on July 7th, and so far we've done a ton of stuff with them. And again, I would rather pay a little bit more, or I guess twice the price in this case, to get towels that I feel don't leave more junk behind than they pick up. All right, let's keep going here. We talked about the gloves are great, yada yada. Those. I'm not a fan of this stool right here. I've talked about it before. Now, there was a recall on this stool, and so they've since fixed it. They put better welds on it, so it's not going to stick that pipe straight up where. I still don't think it's the best creeper seat out there. Maybe for you lighter folks, if you weigh a $120 soaking wet, probably works just fine for you. But for this, adult sized, grizzly bear sized even, it's not my favorite seat. Now, some people like it. Some people like falling on their backside every time they hit a seam of the concrete. Anyway, that's your thing. You do you. All right, let's jump over to the next page. Those are fine. These are terrible. Absolutely terrible. I hate this pliers set. It's absolute junk. Although if you look at the reviews on it are stellar. They love it. There's no fish hook. There's nothing. And people are like, well, Harbor Freight lies. They control their reviews and stuff. They don't. They actually outsource their review to a third-party company who manages all that. And you saw in the last one I showed you, there was a bunch of negative reviews. So clearly, they don't do that. So you can put your little tinfoil hat away. I don't know. People just like this. Maybe they don't use them much. Maybe that's the case. I'm not a fan of those. I know other people who reviewed them long-term and had the same thing. The rubber slips on them. The bolts fall out. They're super soft. I don't like them, all right? I'm also not a fan of the 800 lumen tactical LED light. I think there's better flashlights. They're going to be probably twice as much, $15. But again, I'm willing to spend $15 on a reliable flashlight than $8 on a cheap disposable flashlight. The blue tarp, I like that. The Predator generator, that's great, great. The Jupiter, this one's a hard one, okay? So, the modified sine wave inverter. Now, this has been a fan favorite for years. I know tons of people who did, when the whole like living out of your van down near the river was cool and not creepy, that they did van builds with it, and lots of people used them, and that's great. But so many people now have high-end electronics. All right, I've got an iPhone 16 Pro. I've got the the iPad Pro. I've got a high-end laptop. All the stuff I would charge off of this. I mean, I don't want to use modified sine wave on. I want pure sine wave for those electronics. And there's so many people using higher end electronics these days. I don't know people using the pure sine. I mean, if you want to run your fridge and stuff like that, all right. But honestly, I hate being the guy saying you need to spend more because it's going to be like $250. And like the Jupiter, I think it's Jupiter from Harbor Freight. They've got one. There's ones on. I did a whole bunch of price checking. Sorry, I was out at the racetrack today, and I got a bunch of dust in me. We had mud drags today and tough truck tomorrow. If you're in Park County or in the Park County area up here in Montana, come on by, check us out. So yeah, it's one of those things I think you want to step up and protect those electronics because you don't want to spend $1,000 on a cell phone only to lose it to a $100 inverter. All right, the paint sprayers, those are fantastic. The Cover Pro, that's a nice kite for $100. Let's see here. I'm going to be doing a review on this one here shortly, so we'll find out more about that. This right here, the Franklin 150-pound capacity drywall hoist. It's probably a fantastic tool. I will never use it. I hate drywall. I hate drywall. All right, the 5mm nitro gloves. I'm going to say this. For $1 difference, get the 7mm gloves. I just recently, I was in Harbor Freight, and I was in a hurry, and I grabbed 7mm. I usually just cheap out, get the 5mm. I grabbed the 7mm, life-changing. I've not broken a glove yet, putting them on. Before the 5mm, I'm like, oh, it breaks, I'll just grab another one. They're cheap enough. It's $1 difference for a pack of these things. For a pack of 50, well, actually, I take it, it's more than that, because you get a pack of 50 of the 7mm versus a pack of 100. I don't care. I'm not going back from the 7mm gloves. All right, I've tried the 9mm. They are like gloves. They're super solid. These are a nice kind of mix between the stiffness of the 9 and getting that durability that you don't get with the 5. Get the 7mm gloves. All right. The steam cleaner is okay. The multi-use transfer pump. This is another one where I've not had good experience with it. I know a lot of other people have had bad experiences with it, but a few other people were like, this thing's great. You're totally missing out on it. Okay, I'll miss out on it. The metric, the SAE metric and star, these things just fall apart. You could fight and you could fix them. You could always just buy some better sets. That's all there is to it. All right, so I hate that key set there. All right, next page. We've got this one. You should not buy this. You should not buy the fly swatter here because what's going to end up happening if you buy that fly swatter is you're going to end up swatting the misses on the backside, and then you'll have a shiner for a couple weeks. And that's just not going to look good for anybody, all right? The glue's okay. I don't know. You know what? I used to the puck lights were great when they're free. I'm not paying $1 for a puck light. There's better options out there. The welders are great. The Chicago Electric Flux one. That's a big no for me. Why? It's $100 for $20 more. Is it 20 or $30 more? It doesn't matter. Even if it's $35 more. Get the titanium. The titanium it's better made. It uses I believe it uses an inverter processor rather than just the straight, what do you call it, that's in this. It just gives you a better weld. It's smaller. It's easier to work with all day long. The Chicago Electric, if you're just broke and you need something, I get it. But if you've got a few extra bucks, get the titanium. It really is a world of a difference, all right? The titanium welding table, $150. That's a steal. You should get arrested buying it at that price. Let's see if there's anything else here that jumps out that's a big no for me. I love my Doyle Vise. The throwing hammers for $4. I'm an Estwing fan bear, but they're probably not my favorite hammers. The orange tie-down ratchets. don't buy them as a primary tie down. If you need, like, you've got some light duty stuff and you want to have, like, say, you've got a really like tumbly kind of mess and you need some secondary ratchets, maybe for that. But other than that, no, those are a hard pass. All right, we come over here, the air compressor starter kit. This is the old Central Pneumatics, and it's junk. I hate them. Some of them work fine. Some of them work fine. Get the Marlin kit. The Marlin makes a version of this. It's twice as much, honestly, even on sale, but it's 3 times the value. It really is. So spend the more and get that. I hate being that one. The McGraw, I can't justify a 20-gallon air compressor with those specs. I can barely justify the 26-gallon next to it. If all you need is air to dust things off and inflate things, get the 2-gallon. It's whisper quiet. It's small. It gets out of the way. It's a great air compressor. If you need to run like that impact wrench next to it, you need way more. You need a 30-gallon compressor. That's all there is to it. You can sneak by with the 26-gallon just because you can really crank up the PSI and kind of fake it, and you can do that. The 20-gallon McGraw, it doesn't, air tools, it's just not power enough for most air tools, and it's too big, and it's too loud, and it's not terrible loud. I had one for years. I used it. It was great, but things have moved on, and now everyone's got electric tools. There's so very few air tools. If you're using air tools, get a bigger air compressor. If you're not going to buy an air compressor, then buy electric tools. There's no reason for 10 to 20 gallon air compressors. Just don't make sense anymore. There's just nothing there. All right, we talked about the Bauer stuff. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. The Hercules, the demo hammer, that's great, blah, blah, blah. All good. I don't really have a problem with any of this stuff. And then we can talk about the credit card. So the credit card, I just did a video on that. Be smart, all right? If you know yourself and you're like, I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to spend money. I'm going to think of it as free money. Don't get the credit card. If you're like, I don't really have the money now, but I might in the future, don't get the credit card. If you're like, I could pay cash for this now, or I could buy it and get 10% off, or I could get 0 interest for however long, and you're smart with it, and you can pay it off at the end of the month or something like that, then do that. It's a great tool for that. But remember, it's a tool. And like any tool, if you stick your finger in it, you can get bit. All right? So be smart. So anyway, there you go. What do you think? Do you like this one? Because instead of doing the big long one where I talk about how good everything is, we just talk about the ones you shouldn't buy. All right? If you like what we do here, go ahead and chomp the old like button, smash that subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. You all take care, God bless, and as always, shine on.